ChatGPT, I think it kind of caused a few headaches for people. So essentially, there was a feature that was to allow people share their GPTs, but it ended up causing a bit of a privacy concern. So what was happening was when people shared the chats, and some of the chats had like really like sensitive personal information, like people's names, CVs. Kind of they uploaded like company information, and then like a lot of kind of personal conversations.
Hello, how are you, Mark?
Hey Ryan, how are you, man?
Not too bad. We're down a man today.
Yeah, no keen this week now. Save us a fortune on hair and makeup, so we're all right.
So
How you
anything could
keeping
happen
on
this
good?
episode. All good, all good. Not too bad now. We missed you last week.
Yeah, jeez, it's like we're all dropping in, aren't
I know, yeah. It might just be me now next week.
we? On your own.
That'd be a very short episode. Right, we'll crack into it.
Yeah,
So,
so what's going on this week?
we start with the news. So, this is your fella.
Oh yeah, so ChatGPT, I think it kind of caused a few headaches for people. So essentially, there was a feature that was to allow people share their GPTs, but it ended up causing a bit of a privacy concern. So what was happening was when people shared the chats, and some of the chats had like really like sensitive personal information, like people's names, CVs. Kind of they uploaded like company information, and then like a lot of kind of personal conversations. But when they shared those chats, they ended up in Google search results, and they were indexed, and anyone could find them. So not ideal, as you can
It would
imagine.
make you think twice about pouring personal information into the likes of ChatGPT. Like,
Yeah, really would, like, because I think a lot of people nowadays anyway use it for bloody everything. Like, it's like kind of a counselor for people as well.
absolutely, yeah.
So, but yeah, look, OpenAI, they're after kind of acting on it quickly, and they're pulling the plug on the feature. So now the people have been able to find these chats and search engines. It's disabled, so like you can't find them now. I think it was something like 4,500 conversations Fast Company found or something, and it essentially was someone didn't take a toggle in the back end to keep them private. They're saying it was a short-lived experiment that users had to opt into, but it's stopped for now, and they're kind of working to get everything cleaned out of search. Um,
I'm wondering what would be the use case of those conversations.
this is it. Like, I don't really get why you would want to index that kind of stuff. It's like, depending on how people are using it, it's nearly like indexing somebody's diary pages.
I know, yeah. If I just search like what's Mark Stewart looking up on what
Like,
his hobbies.
so I suppose like with all this stuff, the kind of key thing is to just be very, very cautious with what you share, isn't it? Same with social and everything. So
Yeah.
OpenAI, they're telling people to go back, check your search sentence, check the sentence on conversations you might have shared in the past, and just to be safe. And I suppose like if there is anything you don't want to get indexed, something that I don't know, you might be sobbing your heart out to the robot, just maybe
Yeah.
delete it, or deactivate a public link if you've kind of shared it with somebody.
I wonder, is it like the personal touch of AI that people are starting to feel like they can put anything into? Because like you wouldn't put half that stuff into just the Google search bar, like,
No, you
you
wouldn't.
feel weird
No.
about doing it there, but
I think because it kind of talks back to you, and like even this is a bit more random, but you'd see like on the telly nowadays or in films or stuff, or maybe not films, but more shows. There's always storylines around people with AI girlfriends and
I know,
kind of friends
Google
and
her
stuff.
and
It's
stuff.
nearly they see it as like a conversation piece. But
Which I've
yeah,
known
headline
people that have
there.
used it. I've
Pardon?
known, I've known people that have like used it for like deep questions, like,
Yeah,
like, and some people say it's brilliant, like, but yeah. If
But
I
like
thought
even
my friends
we're
were,
talking the last few weeks about the agentic AI stuff and AI agents and yeah, people basically using it as a personal assistant, and I think that kind of ties back into this. It's if you're using it to organize your life, and just be careful what you're putting into it.
yeah, and then
If you
obviously like you
are,
said, sensitive company information is obviously a massive one. Like probably like
that's it. Like I mean, you could get sacked for things like that.
yeah.
But
Right,
yeah.
so I'll keep it going here. So this next one,
Oh yeah. So on the back side of this, then, um, you're moving on that? No, I kind of lost you.
you lose me there.
Yeah, on the backside of this one, so Google is making Gemini a bit smarter and trying to make it a bit more personable. Now, I find Gemini can be very kind of stiff. It's very direct when you ask it to do something, and I find you often have to keep reminding it of things you told it previously. So Google is now addressing that, and it's updated Gemini so it can remember things from previous chats to give you kind of better, more tailored responses, and so you don't have to keep reminding it to do things,
Yeah,
or kind of format stuff in a specific way. So like if you worked on something in the past, or you kind of mentioned a particular project, you don't have to go back and say like we did for this one, or you don't have to keep giving it the same prompt. And like the idea, according to Google, is to make things feel more natural and more collaborative. Um, in terms of privacy, uh, this feature it's switched on by default, but you can go in and switch it off if you don't want to use it. So again, just like we're saying, if you're discussing something sensitive or you don't want the chat to be remembered, Google's added like a temporary chat feature. So these aren't used to train the model, and they don't get saved in your history, and I think they get deleted after 72 hours. So like if you are handling client work, or you're doing any kind of personal soul searching into an AI, this is kind of good for that because it just deletes itself after
and it's kind of
72
like
hours.
you're telling the AI like we never spoke about this.
Yeah. Saying on.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I suppose like if you are using Gemini and you don't want to use this, just go in, check your settings, and just take it off.
Good stuff. I do find as well. I find Gemini it can be a bit to the point as well, kind of like you're saying. So I think it could be a good thing that it maybe is a bit
Yeah,
more personalized.
that's it. Like it's a bit more kind of conversational or something.
Yeah, and then ChatGPT seems to be going in the opposite direction. They're trying to make it a bit less personal.
Oh yeah, you mentioned about the emojis. They're trying to take them
Too
out.
much emojis, yeah. Too much small talk. I think they're so maybe they'll all meet somewhere in the middle.
I suppose they'll have to, won't they? They'll be running us someday.
This is just one then that I saw. So Google's testing an AI powered finance page. So it's an AI powered finance destination for stock market finance, crypto news, charts, and answering advanced questions. So I just thought this was funny because it looks like another thing that like another industry where there's probably so much tools that have been used for years by all these people that like AI could just take over as well.
Yeah,
It's it's interesting. It'd be interesting to see if that happens. Even like when we
that.
were saying with SEO tools like that, like AI might now take over. Like might be the agentic AI might be able to do a lot of the things that your SEM rush screen fries can do. So
But I guess for like it's probably able to read trends and things better than a person.
oh, 100%, yeah.
That's cool. Let's
But
take a look at that.
yeah, and then a little deep dive of the week. So there was this article. Where was it? It was on Search Engine Lens. So it was just talking about the importance of long term or long form content stuff.
Mm,
And then they had this little graphic which I just thought was nice. So it was kind of just showing the difference between long form content and short form content and what kind of constitutes the difference between them.
yeah.
So basically, just short form content is under 1,000 words. It's for kind of quick engagement, social posts, news, blurbs, limited keyword targeting, and then surface level trending queries. And then long form content is anything kind of over 1,500 words that has depth. It's for education and for conversion. So things like guides, explainers, tutorials, pillar pages. sports topic clusters and long tail terms, and complex, multi-step or research driven. So the article was just kind of talking about how
Yeah,
long form content is still really, really important, and it was saying that I think it has got better conversion rates than short form content.
yeah. In say the last place, it was kind of a travel publishing thing, but it was always long form content works best,
Yeah,
and it would have always been that, really, really long form. But I guess I suppose you kind of see there the primary goal if you're looking for a quick engagement. You don't want someone having to read a 3,000 word article.
yeah,
I suppose
the
there's
balance, I
benefits to
suppose.
both, and you kind of need to think about when, where, and why you would use them.
Yeah,
Um,
'cause I know myself, I like a snappy, kind of a short and snappy one too sometimes, but for conversions, then I don't know. Like if I'm reading something, it depends what you're looking for, I suppose.
yeah,
If you're looking for an answer to one question, sometimes it's nice if it's short and snappy. But do you have like a kind of an ideal amount of words for an article if you're making an article? Is there a kind
I
of
always try and aim for like a 1,500 kind of a minimum. But again, it kind of does depend. And you see, with the short form stuff now, like I nearly feel like that's going to be replaced by the AI overviews
okay?
because they get fairly kind of detailed. So you nearly want to write the longer form content. It gives you, I guess, more opportunities to get pulled into that. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, I suppose there's benefits to each. Like
but yeah, yeah,
sometimes you just want a packet of crisps. Do you know what I mean? You just want to go in, get the thing, and be gone.
I know.
But yeah, like that's. I just keep thinking in my head that's where AI overviews are kind of replacing stuff.
Yeah,
Whereas like the long form stuff, it's when you're doing your deeper research and like you have it there as supports like topic clusters and long term tails. Like from like an SEO standpoint, I think long form has always been better because it gives you like a it's a better opportunity to give you kind of more relevant, useful, helpful content which Google likes. But
yeah,
then on page stuff, it gives you like more opportunities to link away to your more relevant articles as well.
yeah. I guess like does it come down to as simple as you can fit in more things that are going to be helpful for
Yeah,
SEO?
and like the issue with I don't know necessarily an issue, but with like the longer form stuff, you can kind of nearly be over optimizing like and stuffing keywords into it, just to kind of get it to rank.
Yeah, because I think in the article too, there was a part where they were talking about like do you make six articles about six different topics, or do you make one
Hmm.
huge article that has all the topics in it? It's like I
You
don't know that.
see, I think a good strategy and something we use is the kind of a combination of both. So, like, the cluster model we use, like, so you have like your pillar page, and then you have the smaller pages branching out off of it. So, like, your pillar page would be your pillar topic, so like SEO, and then you have the different pages coming out off of it. So it gives you kind of a chance to kind of use both. So you can write like shorter articles on I don't know, agentic SEO or agentic AI SEO, whatever. That's not a good example. Probably should cut that. But yeah, like I suppose you can write short articles on things like on page SEO or off page SEO, and then
Yeah,
you can put the more information in your pillar pages.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it was an interesting one. Funny enough, it was a really long article, which I thought was funny because I was
Yeah.
talking about long form content. And it was so long. But yeah, so that's our little deep dive of the week. So marketing tip of the week. I think this is
Oh
something.
yeah. Now
Mark.
this is something we get asked a lot, and I'm just going to put a disclaimer here and say this isn't foolproof. But we often get asked how you can track um, traffic coming from ChatGPT. So here's like not foolproof, but kind of an easy enough way to do it. So if you go into your Google Analytics and you go into your reports and you select traffic acquisition, so you'll see there direct organic social referral. They are all your sources of traffic. So what you're going to want to do is add a filter. So you'll see I have it highlighted in red. And then on the build filter page, you can say session source and then the match type contains, and then put in ChatGPT and hit apply. And then that should show you all your traffic that comes from ChatGPT, or at least references ChatGPT in the referral source.
Okay.
And just to say that that graph there isn't our traffic from ChatGPT. Um, it's just regular traffic
Yeah.
from all sources. But
That's mad
that's
though that like at this stage that's still the best way to track it.
Google can do it, but they won't. Is my theory on it. Like they are rolling out a thing. It's in the US at the moment. In Search Console, they'll show you like yeah, there's like it'll show you if it comes from like an AI overview. So they have the ability to do it, and they have the ability to tell you where it comes from, but they just haven't done it yet. But this is kind of a little bit of a workaround. And like I said, not foolproof, but if you want to get like a ballpark idea of how much of your traffic comes from ChatGPT, that's how to do it.
Okay, very good. That actually seems like that's going to be very, very handy. I wonder, will Google ever release that? Like,
I
surely at
think
some
they
point.
will.
So.
I would say that I don't know. They might wait till Gemini catches up a little bit, and then maybe.
Yeah, they they must have their reasons. Right, shallow dive of the week. So,
So the
Mark
shallow
was
dive of the week,
insistent on putting this in.
Ryan, your favorite artist, Taylor Swift. So she released a new album this, or well, she announced a new album this week. I think it's called like Diary of a Showgirl or something. Look at me acting like I don't know. But she's after taking over Google. So at the moment, if you Google Taylor Swift, you get these little orange kind of graphicy things fall down, and the little blurb there, whatever it is, with a quote.
It's great fun.
So she announced this on the New Heights podcast. She's gone out with the Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelsey, whose brother is the Eagle legend Jason Kelsey, and they host a podcast together called New Heights. It's decent, but that's after if you go to the next slide and you look at the Google Trends. So they're after getting a beautiful spike in searches this week as well.
Oh my god,
So you can see I just have a filter there by the last 30 days. And you can see the blue is searches for New Heights podcast.
that's mad. So
Yeah,
she was actually doing them a solid, so by
doing
releasing
them
that
solid.
podcast.
I'd say it was all coordinated.
Yeah,
And I think the episode went out on the 13th of August, so you can see there the yellow spike, or the yellow is New Heights podcast with Taylor Swift. Red is Kelsey podcast, and the blue is New Heights. So you can see it all starts to climb a little bit and then spikes on the 13th.
wow.
There you go. Now that is the power of brand authority.
Everyone needs to take a lesson from that. So we need to get her on this podcast, basically, and
We need
release
to
an
get her
album.
on this now for.
That would be the move. So some other trends then this week. So the top trending one this morning was Máiréad McGuinness. So I think she was the Fine Gael presidency candidate who's after stepping down. I think she was in hospital this week. I think she was ill. But that
Fair.
is the top search by a good bit this morning. So people are obviously, I think it's all over the news.
Yeah.
But the other big one then is Oasis Dublin. So those gigs are this weekend. So I wonder, is that people looking for last minute tickets, or is it just people looking up the dates? Or
Could be a bit of both, and like, I don't know. I mean, I'll just Google it there now and see what comes up.
because geez, it'll be a late stage in the game now for getting tickets. But do you
That's
know
it.
anyone
It'd be
going to it, Mark?
popping up. I'd say there's people still looking for it.
Yeah,
And you always get all the stories of someone who spent like 2 grand on tickets and then they were fake. They got to the door to scan them, and
God, wouldn't that be the worst?
but I'd say it's going to be road closures. It's going to be mental on like the train. Um, I've seen like a lot of stuff on my own socials, just people looking for, is there any buses going out of Waterford? Or,
Oh, Dublin's gonna be mayhem.
it's going to be mayhem.
Is it Croke Park?
Croke Park, yeah.
Jeez, yeah. And is it two nights? I think
I
Saturday and
think it's
Sunday.
2 nights, isn't it? Do you know anybody going?
I know two or three lads going. Yeah. Um. So they're going up tomorrow, I think, and I think they're going to it tomorrow night. Yeah. So
Should be good now.
yeah,
But
it'd be a great crack now. I'm
I
jealous
haven't
of it.
actually heard of how any of the other gigs went.
I've heard online that they've been good. I keep hearing that his that Liam Gallagher's voice is very good. That like it's as good as it always
Okay,
was.
that's
But
good.
yeah, they're still going anyway. A lot of people thought they wouldn't make it to Ireland.
And helpful tool of the week.
So this is just something I threw in just because we were actually using it, I think, during the week, and I just thought it's very helpful. So I was making changes to a web page, and I was kind of sending you the links to see if they had changed for you because some of the
Yeah,
stuff was cached, whatever. But this is a very handy Google Chrome extension, so it's just called GoFullPage, and it basically will take, or it won't just take a screenshot, but it'll show you the entire length of
yeah,
a web page in one little kind of nice, concise little picture, and then you can download. It has a
yeah. It's
PNG.
pretty cool, and it is. If you're after making changes to a lot of places on a page rather than having to send, 5 or 6 different screenshots, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I just think it's a lovely view of a full web page. So you never get to see it like that.
Yeah,
So kind of puts in perspective all the things you have in a web page.
yeah, and I like little kind of tools like that are just they're simple but they're well done.
Yeah,
And they actually do make things a bit easier for you.
absolutely. And then it's very easy to download the PNG straight away, or you can download a PDF as well. So like it has everything. It's like only a few buttons, but it's anything you would need. So it's a nice, helpful little one. So I think we've got one question this week for the Ask the Experts. So
Yeah, the experts really aren't here this week.
we've even less experts than usual. um, so we'll stick to one this week, so we won't put you under too much pressure now, Mark. But so can you actually over optimize content?
Can you over optimize a content? Yes, you can. Like 100% you can. And I think it's probably something that's maybe very easy for somebody to fall into, especially if you're kind of new to SEO. Um, I think what over optimizing means now is probably a lot different to what it was, over the years. Like, I think back in the day, like back in the grey days of SEO, Keena know more about this, but I think then, you know, over optimizing basically meant keyword stuffing. So you'd land on a page and you'd be reading things like, "We sell the best blue socks in Waterford, and our blue socks are the highest quality blue socks you can buy in Waterford. So if you're looking to buy blue socks, come to
Yeah,
our store that sells blue socks." And they just ram the keyword in as quick as
yeah,
they could on the page. And, terrible to read, bad for users. But back then, Google and other search engines were, I think, basically just counting how many times a keyword would appear on the page, and that was how they ranked it. But obviously, as we know, Google's moved on like a lot since then. And I think now when people over optimize pages, and I think we've probably been guilty of it ourselves sometimes, I think it's when you get maybe too focused on ticking all the technical SEO boxes and ticking all the on page boxes that you forget you're supposed to be writing for another person. So when you're trying to do everything technically perfect, the piece of content you're writing is probably starting to sound a bit more robotic, and you're trying to put keywords into, every third sentence, or, you're trying to kind of squeeze it 3 times into like a paragraph when it doesn't naturally fit that way. So, or like a good example is if you ever go onto a site and you see, like, you might see a paragraph and every fucking third word has an internal link. Do you ever see that? And it's
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of messy. Like, it's just there's so many links packed into stuff. That'd be like an example. Or you get people where we were talking about the long form v short form content, like, but you would have people just writing long form content to hit a certain word count so they can fit keywords in, and you end up with a bit more waffle rather than something that's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
direct and useful. And I find like people might obsess over getting the precise number of keywords in there, or the X amount of links, or getting the headings a certain way or whatever. And they nearly like forget about the quality of the content you're making. And you end up with something that might be, from an SEO point of view, technically perfect, but it's not very like helpful for someone reading it.
yeah,
And Google's main goal is promoting content that people genuinely find useful. So when people nowadays over optimize, I think they write for a robot or an algorithm rather than a person, and that creates like a worse experience for users. And I think Google kind of sees this, and you probably see yourself like in like your bounce rates, or like when people, what's the phrase, like yo-yo off your page. Um, so you can kind of do everything a bit too technically rigid, I suppose, and then you kind of outsmart yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so I think like what you kind of need to do is to take the best practice, use it as a framework, but don't be too tight to it. And then obviously research what people are looking for, and then write the best and the most helpful and the most interesting and engaging content you can for them.
do you think it's better to to write the content first, thinking about the people reading it, and then go back afterwards and sprinkle in the
Yeah,
SEO bits?
yeah. That's kind of a good way to do it. Or like I suppose you would always kind of start with the kind of keyword research stage anyway. So you would be kind of thinking, okay, this is what people are searching for. So I think you nearly kind of build the article in your head around that keyword anyway. And if
Okay,
you're kind of writing to serve what people are looking for, it's kind of nearly easier to write. And then absolutely you can write the article, then go back and then optimize it a bit more for SEO.
yeah. But I do think it's really interesting just because you said this there, like you can see how someone new to SEO could fall into that trap. And like I definitely find if I'm writing something now, I'm like, well, I could put the word there. But it's like, oh, but it'd be a shame not to put the word there. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
but obviously it's a bad mindset to get into.
Like
Uh,
it's just you can go online and you kind of read all these guides, and it's kind of what it says to do, so then you think I need to get this keyword in 3 times in this paragraph or 4 times here. And like if you kind of, because it happened to me as well when I kind of started with this, you're kind of thinking I need to get this in here, and you're trying to nearly find ways to get things in when it doesn't necessarily make sense.
yeah,
Whereas like you should be writing for a person and writing for a reader. And then I think if you kind of get that right and you answer the question, the SEO side of things, it'll fall into place more
yeah,
naturally.
yeah. I guess it has to be natural.
Mm,
That's the message. Um, but yeah, that's us.
that's us now. Gosh, I mean, why up to for the weekend? Any nice plans going golfing?
Going
Going.
golfing, yeah. 1 or 2 rounds of golf. Hopefully now too. The weather's so good, so we'll try to squeeze them in. It was actually nice there for a while. You could kind of finish work at 5 and play a full round of golf, but the days now
Oh
are
yeah.
already too short. So we're losing holes every day now with the light.
I just
But
looked
yeah,
out my window here. It's lovely now, so I might try and do something nice myself.
absolutely, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Take up golf, I think.
Yeah, look, you might have to. You might have to. This weekend now, this is the weekend for it.
This is it. So yeah, look, thanks for that now, and hopefully next week we've Keen back to answer questions properly.
Yeah, we'll be back to the full squad next week now.